Hey there, wisdom seekers and relationship warriors. Ever feel like modern relationships are less happily ever after and more, help me, I'm stuck in a rom-com gone horribly wrong? You know, 1 minute you're swiping right, full of hope, and the next, you're trying to decode a cryptic text message or debating whose turn it is to empty the dishwasher for the millionth time. It's a jungle out there, folks, filled with ghosting, breadcrumbing, and the eternal struggle of trying to find someone who actually laughs at your terrible puns. But what if I told you there's an ancient philosophy, older than your grandma's secret cookie recipe, that holds some seriously powerful secrets to navigating this wild, wonderful, and sometimes totally bonkers world of modern love? And no, it's not about becoming an emotionless robot, though sometimes, after a particularly frustrating date, that might sound appealing, right? We're talking about Stoicism. Now, before you picture a bunch of toga-wearing philosophers sitting around looking grumpy, let me assure you, Stoicism is far from that. It's a practical, no-nonsense approach to life that's surprisingly relevant to everything from dealing with your partner's annoying habits to surviving a family holiday gathering. Seriously, if Seneca were around today, he'd probably have a TikTok channel dropping truth bombs about dating apps. So, why Stoicism for relationships? Well, because at its core, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and gracefully accept what we cannot. And let's be real, in relationships, there's a whole lot we can't control. Like your partner's sudden obsession with competitive cheese rolling, or their uncanny ability to leave exactly 1 drop of milk left in the carton. But there's also a whole lot we can control, like our reactions, our expectations, and our own inner peace. Today, we're diving deep into 5 essential Stoic principles that will absolutely revolutionize how you approach your connections. We're going to talk about the power of acceptance, the importance of perspective, cultivating resilience, the value of self-discipline, and finally, how to bring it all together. Get ready to ditch the drama, embrace the calm, and build relationships that are not just surviving, but thriving. Are you ready to embark on this Stoic journey with me? Let's roll. The power of acceptance. All right, let's kick things off with our first mighty Stoic principle, the power of acceptance. Now, when I say acceptance, I'm not talking about passively resigning yourself to misery, like saying, oh well, guess I'll just live with my partner leaving socks everywhere for the rest of eternity. No, that's not Stoicism, that's just laundry-related despair. Stoic acceptance is about acknowledging reality as it is, without fighting against it, without wishing it were different. It's about understanding that some things are simply outside of our control. Think about it. Can you control the weather? Can you control what your partner says or does every single second of every single day? Absolutely not, unless you're some kind of mind-controlling supervillain, in which case, please use your powers for good, not just for getting them to do the dishes. In relationships, this means accepting your partner for who they are, quirks and all. Not who you wish they were, not some idealized version you've cooked up in your head from romantic comedies, but the actual, living, breathing human being sitting across from you. It means accepting that they have their own thoughts, feelings, past experiences, and yes, even their own annoying habits that might occasionally make you want to pull your hair out. Let's get into some real-world examples, because this is where the rubber meets the road. Imagine you're planning a surprise birthday party for your partner. You've got the perfect cake, the decorations are on point, and all their friends are hiding, ready to yell, "Surprise!" Then, disaster strikes. Your partner calls and says they're stuck late at work. Your initial reaction might be frustration, anger, maybe even a little bit of a pity party. You might think, ugh, why do they always do this? Don't they care about my efforts? Now, with Stoic acceptance, you'd recognize that your partner being stuck at work is largely outside your control. You can't magically transport them home. Instead of spiraling into negativity, you accept the situation. Maybe you reschedule the party for tomorrow, or perhaps you just bring the cake to their work. The key is, you don't let the external event dictate your internal state. You accept the reality and adjust. This doesn't mean you're not disappointed, but you're not allowing that disappointment to consume you. Here's another classic scenario: the difference in communication styles saga. You're a direct communicator, always getting straight to the point. Your partner, on the other hand, prefers to circle around a topic 5 times before landing on the actual issue, like a confused pigeon trying to find its way back to the nest. You could get endlessly frustrated, thinking, why can't they just say what they mean? But with acceptance, you acknowledge that this is their communication style. It's not a personal attack, it's just how they're wired. You accept that you can't magically change them into a direct communicator overnight. So, what do? You adapt. Maybe you learn to ask more open-ended questions, or you simply give them the space and time they need to express themselves. You're not accepting a bad situation, you're accepting a difference and finding a way to navigate it peacefully. See the distinction? It's huge. Or consider the inevitable disagreement over something trivial, like the proper way to load a dishwasher. Is it forks up or forks down? Only the wise philosophers of ancient Greece truly know. You and your partner might have a passionate debate, each convinced your method is superior. Without acceptance, this could escalate into a full-blown argument about respect, effort, and who truly loves chaos. But with acceptance, you might take a breath and think, okay, we have different preferences here. It's not a moral failing. Can I accept that their method, while deeply flawed in my humble opinion, still gets the dishes clean? You might even find humor in the situation. Ah yes, the eternal dishwasher dilemma. We are but mere mortals, striving for spotless cutlery. It's about letting go of the need for everything to be your way. So how do we practically practice acceptance? It's easier than you think, but it takes consistent effort, like trying to teach a cat to fetch. Tip 1. The "is this within my control?" test. Whenever you feel frustration bubbling up about something related to your relationship, pause and ask yourself, is this truly within my control to change right now? If the answer is no, like your partner's family quirks, their past, or how they choose to spend their leisure time, then your best bet is to accept it. If the answer is yes, then you focus your energy on what you can do. Tip 2. Practice negative visualization. The good kind. This sounds a bit gloomy, but it's actually incredibly powerful. Briefly imagine what it would be like if your partner wasn't around, or if a particular positive aspect of your relationship was gone. This isn't about being morbid, it's about appreciating what you do have. When you come back to the present, you'll often find a renewed sense of gratitude for what's already there, imperfections and all. You'll be like, wow, those socks on the floor? A small price to pay for this wonderful human. Tip 3. Embrace the imperfection. No relationship and no person is perfect. The Stoics understood that striving for perfection is a fool's errand. Instead, embrace the beautiful messiness of real life and real people. Your partner's flaws aren't roadblocks. They're just part of the unique landscape of who they are. Love isn't about finding someone perfect. It's about accepting someone imperfect perfectly. Corny? Maybe. True? Absolutely. Remember, acceptance isn't about giving up. It's about gaining peace. It frees up an enormous amount of mental and emotional energy that you used to spend fighting against reality. Energy that you can now invest in building a stronger, happier connection. So, go forth, accept the things you cannot change, and save your battles for truly important things, like whether pineapple belongs on pizza. Spoiler, it does. Just kidding. Mostly. importance of perspective. All right, let's talk about our second game-changing Stoic principle, the importance of perspective. This one is like having a superpower. Seriously. It's about stepping back, taking a deep breath, and seeing the bigger picture instead of getting tangled up in the weeds of immediate frustration. It's about reminding yourself that a minor squabble over a misplaced remote isn't the end of the world, even if it feels like it in the moment. The Stoics were masters of shifting their perspective. They understood that our emotional responses aren't caused by events themselves, but by our interpretations of those events. Think about it. A spilled drink could ruin one person's entire evening, while another might just laugh it off. The event is the same. The reaction is different, all thanks to perspective. In relationships, managing expectations is absolutely crucial, and perspective is your secret weapon. We often go into relationships with a whole list of unspoken rules and ideal scenarios. My partner should know what I'm thinking. Or, they should always prioritize me. Or, they should never forget my favorite obscure holiday, like National Sock Puppet Day. When these expectations aren't met, we feel disappointed, hurt, or even angry. But what if we shifted our perspective? What if we acknowledged that our partner is a separate individual with their own priorities, thoughts, and even their own occasional lapses in memory, especially when it comes to sock puppets? This isn't about lowering your standards. It's about aligning your expectations with reality. It's about understanding that your partner is human, not a mind-reading robot designed to fulfill your every whim. Let's dive into some real-world scenarios where a little perspective can save you from unnecessary conflict, or at least from screaming into a pillow. Scenario 1. The "I can't believe they said that" moment. We've all been there. Your partner says something that, in the moment, feels incredibly hurtful or dismissive. Your immediate reaction might be to lash out, defend yourself, or stew in resentment. Without perspective, this could easily blow up into a massive argument, potentially damaging your connection. But with a Stoic perspective, you'd pause. You'd consider other possibilities. Was your partner tired? Stressed from work? Did they accidentally use a poor choice of words? Did they even intend to hurt you? Or was it a clumsy attempt at humor that missed the mark? By widening your lens, you might realize their comment wasn't a deliberate attack, but perhaps a reflection of their own struggles, or just a momentary lapse in judgment. This doesn't excuse truly harmful behavior, but it helps you differentiate between a genuine issue and a miscommunication. You're not letting them off the hook entirely, but you are giving them the benefit of the doubt, which is a hallmark of strong relationships. Scenario 2. The "they never help out" frustration. This one is a classic. You feel like you're carrying all the weight of household chores, childcare, or planning activities. You see your partner relaxing, and you feel a surge of indignation. "It's not fair. They never do anything." A Stoic perspective would encourage you to zoom out. Is it never? Or is it just in this moment? What burdens might they be carrying that you're not seeing? Have you explicitly communicated your needs? Or are you expecting them to read your mind? Maybe they contribute in ways you haven't fully recognized, like handling finances or fixing things around the house, which you take for granted. By stepping back, you can have a more balanced view of the division of labor, leading to a calm conversation about how to better share responsibilities, rather than an accusatory rant. You're shifting from "they never help" to "how can we better support each other?" Scenario 3. The future worries trap. You're in a relationship, things are going well, but suddenly your mind races to the future. What if we break up? What if they meet someone else? What if we grow apart? These anxieties can be paralyzing, leading to clinginess, insecurity, or even pushing your partner away. Stoic perspective here means anchoring yourself in the present. The future is uncertain, and most of our worries about it never actually come true. Focus on what you can control right now. being a good partner, communicating openly, enjoying the current moment. By recognizing that these what-ifs are just thoughts, not reality, you can free yourself from unnecessary suffering. You're not ignoring potential challenges, but you're not letting them steal your present joy. You're choosing to appreciate what you have, rather than fearing what you might lose. So, how do we practically shift our perspective in the heat of the moment? Here are some power strategies. Strategy 1. The zoom out technique. When you feel yourself getting caught up in a minor issue, literally imagine zooming out, like a camera pulling back from a close-up. From the perspective of your entire life, how significant is this issue? From the perspective of your relationship's entire history, how important is this moment? Often, it shrinks significantly. This is about putting things in proportion. Strategy 2. The assume good intent rule. Unless there's strong evidence to the contrary, try to assume your partner's intentions are good. Most people don't wake up thinking, how can I deliberately annoy my loved one today? If they said or did something hurtful, it was likely an oversight, a misunderstanding, or a clumsy attempt at something else. This doesn't mean you ignore your feelings, but it means you approach the situation with curiosity and empathy rather than immediate judgment. Strategy 3. Practice cognitive reframing. This sounds fancy, but it's just about consciously changing the way you interpret a situation. For example, instead of thinking, my partner is ignoring me, reframe it as, my partner seems preoccupied. I wonder what's on their mind. Instead of, they never listen, try, perhaps I haven't communicated this clearly enough. By reframing, you shift from victimhood to empowerment, from blame to understanding. Strategy 4. The future you test. Imagine your future self looking back at this moment. Would they still be stressed about this trivial issue? Or would they laugh about it? Or wish they'd handled it with more grace? This often helps put things into perspective and encourages you to act in a way that your future self would be proud of. Remember, perspective isn't about ignoring problems. It's about choosing how you see them. It's about realizing that you have the power to control your internal narrative, to choose understanding over anger, and to see your partner not as an adversary, but as a fellow traveler on this wild journey called life. With a healthy dose of Stoic perspective, you'll find yourself reacting less emotionally, communicating more effectively, and building a relationship that's strong enough to weather any storm, even if that storm is just a debate about how to load the dishwasher. Cultivating resilience. All right, let's move on to our third powerhouse Stoic principle, cultivating resilience. Now, when you hear resilience, you might think of bouncing back from a natural disaster or surviving a particularly brutal Monday. And while it definitely applies there, in relationships, resilience is your emotional superhero cape. It's the ability to absorb life's inevitable punches, big or small, within your partnership and come back stronger, not bitter. From a Stoic perspective, resilience isn't about avoiding pain or difficulty. The Stoics knew that life is inherently uncertain and full of challenges. Instead, resilience is about how you respond to those challenges. It's about developing an inner fortress that allows you to face adversity with courage and wisdom, rather than crumbling under pressure or letting setbacks define you. It's about building emotional muscle, so when something inevitably goes wrong, you don't just survive, you actually thrive. Relationships, bless their hearts, are a fantastic training ground for resilience. They're not always sunshine and rainbows, are they? There will be disagreements, disappointments, periods of doubt, and unexpected curveballs. Maybe one of you loses a job. Maybe there's a family crisis. Maybe you just can't agree on what to watch on Netflix. These are all opportunities to build resilience. Let me paint some pictures of how resilience helps you navigate relationship difficulties, because seeing it in action makes all the difference. Example 1. The rough patch scenario. Every relationship experiences rough patches. Maybe communication has broken down, you're bickering more than usual, or you just feel a bit distant. Without resilience, this could lead to panic, despair, or even the thought of throwing in the towel. You might think, this is it. We're doomed. Our love story is officially over. But with Stoic resilience, you'd recognize this as a temporary phase. You wouldn't let the discomfort of the moment overwhelm you. Instead, you'd approach it with a calm determination. You'd understand that difficulties are part of the journey, not a sign of fundamental failure. You'd lean into solutions, initiating an honest conversation, seeking professional help if needed, or simply giving each other space while reaffirming your commitment. You're not ignoring the pain, but you're choosing to believe in your ability to get through it, together. You're saying, this isn't easy, but we're tougher than this. Example 2. Dealing with external stressors. Life throws curveballs at individuals, and those curveballs often land squarely in the middle of relationships. A job loss, a health scare, family drama. These external pressures can strain even the strongest bonds. If you lack resilience, you might project your stress onto your partner, withdraw, or become overly pessimistic. A resilient couple, fueled by Stoic principles, would face these challenges as a united front. One partner might be struggling, but the other, with their cultivated resilience, can offer unwavering support without being dragged down into the negativity. They understand that their partner's struggles are not a reflection of their relationship's strength, but an external circumstance to be navigated. They focus on what they can control, their support, their communication, their shared problem solving, and accept what they cannot. This builds a foundation of trust and strengthens the bond immensely. You're not just sharing a bed, you're sharing the burden, and that's incredibly powerful. Example 3. Handling disappointment and unmet expectations. Let's say you had a grand plan for a romantic getaway, and at the last minute, something falls through. Flight canceled, hotel overbooked, or one of you gets sick. It's a huge letdown. Without resilience, you might be inconsolable, blaming your partner or the universe, and letting the disappointment overshadow everything. But a resilient individual, and by extension, a resilient couple, would be able to process that disappointment without it derailing their entire mood or damaging their relationship. They'd acknowledge the frustration, but then quickly pivot. Okay, that stinks. What can we do now? A cozy night in with takeout and a movie? A board game marathon? Let's make the best of it. This isn't about being Pollyanna. It's about acknowledging the setback and then actively choosing to adapt and find joy in alternative solutions. It's about not letting external events dictate your internal state. So, how do we practically build this incredible superpower of resilience in our relationships? It's not about bench pressing emotional weights, but it is about consistent mental training. Strategy 1. Practice voluntary discomfort in small doses. This sounds a bit intense, but it's really about intentionally stepping outside your comfort zone, even in minor ways. Maybe you willingly take on a task you dislike, or you try a new activity that pushes your boundaries. These small acts of discomfort build your tolerance for difficulty, making you more robust when bigger challenges arise. In a relationship context, this might mean having a tough conversation you've been avoiding, or willingly compromising on something you feel strongly about, just to exercise that flexibility muscle. Strategy 2. Reflect on past triumphs. When you're facing a new challenge, take a moment to recall previous times you and your partner have successfully navigated difficulties. Remember that time we moved cross-country with a cat and a U-Haul? If we survived that, we can definitely survive this. This builds confidence and reminds you of your collective strength. You've got a track record of being awesome, so lean into it. Strategy 3. Embrace the obstacle is the way mindset. This is a core Stoic idea. Every obstacle, every difficulty is not just a problem. It's an opportunity for growth, for learning, for strengthening your bond. When a challenge arises, instead of thinking, "Why is this happening to us?" logically try thinking, "What can this teach us? How can we grow stronger from this?" This shifts your perspective from victim to proactive problem solver. It transforms a stumbling block into a stepping stone. Strategy 4. Focus on your circle of control. When faced with a relationship difficulty, identify what parts of the situation you can control and what you cannot. You can't control your partner's emotions, but you can control your response. You can't control external circumstances, but you can control your attitude towards them. Direct your energy towards what's within your power and let go of the rest. This prevents wasted energy and helps you stay focused on effective action. Building resilience isn't a one-time event. It's a continuous practice. But the more you consciously engage with these strategies, the more robust and unshakable your relationship will become. You'll not only survive the storms, you'll learn to dance in the rain together. And that, my friends, is a pretty powerful kind of love. The value of self-discipline. Okay, buckle up for our fourth essential Stoic principle, the value of self-discipline. Now, before you groan and imagine cold showers and kale smoothies, let's reframe this. Self-discipline in Stoicism isn't about deprivation, it's about freedom. It's about mastering yourself so you're not a slave to your impulses, your fleeting emotions, or that irresistible urge to say something incredibly sarcastic when you're annoyed. And trust me, in relationships, that freedom is gold. Think about it. How many relationship arguments could be avoided if we just had a little more self-discipline over our tongues, our temper, or our tendency to jump to conclusions? A lot, right? Self-discipline is the rudder that steers your ship through choppy relationship waters, keeping you on course even when the winds of emotion are howling. It's about consciously choosing the virtuous path, even when the easy path is beckoning, the siren call of instant gratification. One of the most powerful ways self-discipline fosters healthy boundaries in relationships is by enabling you to manage your reactions. Ever had a fight where one person said something they immediately regretted, escalating the whole thing into a full-blown war zone? That's a lack of self-discipline in action. With self-discipline, you create a pause between the stimulus, e.g., your partner's annoying comment, and your response. That pause is where your freedom lies. It's where you choose to respond calmly and constructively, rather than reacting impulsively. This also ties into setting personal boundaries. Self-discipline gives you the strength to say no when you need to protect your time, your energy, and your values, even when it might cause temporary discomfort or disappointment for your partner. It's about respecting yourself enough to ensure your relationship is a partnership, not a one-sided drain. For example, if you consistently overcommit to things your partner wants to do, even when you're exhausted, that's a lack of self-discipline in upholding your own needs. It leads to resentment, and resentment is the silent killer of relationships. Let's look at some concrete examples of how self-discipline enhances your personal growth and communication, making your relationship a happier place to be. Example 1. The digital distraction dilemma. In our modern world, we're constantly glued to our screens. You might be having dinner with your partner and your phone buzzes. Without self-discipline, you instinctively grab it, check the notification, and suddenly you're in a rabbit hole of social media while your partner stares awkwardly at their plate. This might seem minor, but over time, it erodes connection. With self-discipline, you'd make a conscious choice. You'd decide that during dinner, your phone stays in your pocket, on silent. You'd prioritize being present with your partner. This isn't easy in an age of constant pings and alerts, but it's a powerful act of self-control that demonstrates respect and strengthens your bond. It shows you value the real connection over the digital one. You're choosing your partner over your TikTok feed. And trust me, they notice. Example 2. Managing your temper and words. We all get angry. It's a human emotion. But how we express that anger is where self-discipline comes in. In the heat of an argument, it's tempting to unleash a volley of hurtful words, to bring up past grievances, or to engage in name-calling. It feels momentarily satisfying, like popping a really satisfying bubble wrap. But the emotional shrapnel can cause lasting damage. Self-discipline allows you to pause, to take a breath, to remember that your goal is to resolve the conflict, not win a verbal battle at all costs. It means choosing to communicate your feelings calmly and respectfully, even when you're fuming. It means saying, "I'm feeling really frustrated right now, and I need a moment to collect my thoughts before we discuss this further." Instead of, "You always do this. You're so inconsiderate." This act of self-restraint prevents escalation and keeps the lines of communication open, paving the way for actual resolution. It's about fighting fair, even when you really want to throw a metaphorical chair. Example 3. Consistency in effort. Relationships require consistent effort. It's not just about grand gestures on anniversaries. It's about the everyday acts of kindness, listening, showing appreciation, and contributing to the shared life. Without self-discipline, it's easy to get lazy, to take your partner for granted, or to let good habits slide. Self-discipline means showing up consistently. It means making the effort to listen actively even when you're tired. It means remembering to express gratitude, not just when you feel like it, but because you value your partner. It means doing your share of the chores without being asked or taking the initiative to plan a date night. These consistent, disciplined efforts, even small ones, compound over time, building a robust and thriving partnership. It's the daily deposits that keep the relationship bank account full. So, how do we practically cultivate this superhero trait of self-discipline in our relationships? It's not about perfection, it's about consistent practice. Strategy 1. Identify your triggers and premeditate. What situations or words consistently make you lose your cool or act impulsively in your relationship? Is it criticism? Feeling unheard? When your partner is late? Once you identify these triggers, you can premeditate your response. Before the situation even arises, decide how you want to react, rather than how you usually do. This is like having a battle plan for your emotions. Strategy 2. Practice the pause. This is simple, but incredibly powerful. When you feel an impulsive reaction bubbling up, whether it's anger, defensiveness, or the urge to check your phone, take a deliberate pause. A few deep breaths. Count to 10. This micro moment creates space for your rational mind to kick in and override the emotional impulse. It's like hitting the mental brakes before you drive off a cliff. Strategy 3. Set small, achievable goals for self-control. Don't try to overhaul all your habits at once. Start small. For the next week, I will not interrupt my partner during conversations. Or, I will put my phone away during dinner every night. Each small victory builds your self-discipline muscle. Celebrate these wins. Strategy 4. Embrace discomfort for growth. Sometimes, self-discipline means choosing the uncomfortable but ultimately beneficial path. This might be having a difficult conversation, admitting you were wrong, or doing something for your partner, even when you don't feel like it. Embrace that discomfort as a sign that you're growing and strengthening your character, and by extension, your relationship. Remember, self-discipline isn't about being rigid, it's about being free. Free from the tyranny of your immediate desires, free to choose your actions deliberately, and free to build a relationship that truly reflects your values. It's the quiet strength that underpins all healthy, lasting connections. So go forth, be disciplined, and watch your relationships flourish. Embracing Stoic wisdom in your relationships. Wow, we've covered some serious ground today, haven't we? From navigating the delightful chaos of modern relationships to harnessing the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, you're now armed with some powerful tools to elevate your connections. Let's quickly recap our 5 essential Stoic principles for modern relationships, because a good recap is like the perfect cherry on top of a wisdom sundae. First, we embraced the power of acceptance, learning to acknowledge what's outside our control and finding peace in reality, quirks and all. Remember, it's about accepting the other person, not resigning yourself to laundry despair. Then, we sharpened the importance of perspective, stepping back to see the bigger picture, managing our expectations, and avoiding unnecessary drama by choosing how we interpret events. It's your superhero lens for relationship squabbles. Next, we cultivated resilience, building that emotional fortress that allows us to bounce back stronger from life's inevitable punches, turning obstacles into opportunities for growth. You're tough, your relationship can be too. And finally, we tapped into the value of self-discipline, mastering our impulses, setting healthy boundaries, and consistently showing up with intention and respect. It's the secret sauce for consistent effort and lasting connection. These aren't just ancient philosophical concepts. They are practical, actionable tools that you can start applying in your relationships today. Whether you're dealing with a minor annoyance or a major challenge, remember these principles. They're not about making you emotionless, but about making you more wise, more resilient, and ultimately, more loving in your interactions. So, I encourage you to take these insights and apply them in your own relationships. Start small. Pick one principle that resonates most with you right now and focus on practicing it. Observe the difference it makes. You'll be amazed at how much more peaceful, understanding, and genuinely connected your relationships can become. The path to strong, fulfilling relationships is a journey, not a destination. With the timeless wisdom of Stoicism as your guide, you're not just surviving, you're truly thriving. If you found this dive into Stoicism for relationships helpful, please do us a huge favor and hit that like button. Leave a comment below, sharing which tip resonated most with you, and subscribe to the channel for more wisdom-packed content. Your support helps us spread these valuable ideas far and wide. Until next time, stay wise, stay resilient, and keep cultivating those incredible relationships. Thanks for watching.